Hey everyone, thought we'd have a look at Wormhole today by Zynaptiq Audio. This, in my opinion, is a great plugin for sound design, so it's worth your time to check it out. It's something that we don't often hear about, or at least I haven't heard much about it. Is that because of the price? Because at the moment on Zynaptiq's site it's $149, which for us in the EU it's €169 because we get extra tax. Lucky us. Although I was looking around when I was trying to remember what the price was, and I did see that it was on Plugin Boutique for £90, which might be about $125, I think. If you do like the sound of the plugin, I'd recommend looking for a sale. Zynaptiq do have 30% off the odd time, and you might pick it up somewhere else cheaper. So what is Wormhole? Well, it's kind of an effects plugin, as you might have guessed, but it has multiple effects within the interface. So you have basically a delay, reverb, pitch shifter, frequency shifter. This control here basically puts the amount of warping on the input signal. The warp depth over here is basically the bandwidth of the overall warp. And what is warp? Well, warp is basically a tilt pitch format shifter. It's probably easier to hear than explain. I think this plugin is great for ethereal type sounds, drones, alien tech, kind of weird voices, sci-fi textures. Does very good, huge, galaxy spanning type textures as well. It has a very lush reverb. Great for ambiences of all kinds, especially sci-fi type stuff. It also does musical effects as well. Tuning, pitch shifting, and widening. It's good for that. The overall interface, I quite like it. I mean, it looks very Y2K, sci-fi, but the upshot is it's very easy to use. As I've already kind of showed you, of your tilt, and you've got your controls here. It's, on either side. You've got your frequency shifter here, it's decay time, pitch shift with different algorithms, smooth, tight, detune A, detune B, so you can mix it here. Over here, the warp depth control, as I showed you earlier, you can kind of pre or post that. The warp mix overall, and up here you have your warp, shift, and reverb, and if these are all selected, that means they're all on, and you can simply turn them off, whichever. So you could just say, I want the reverb. You've got the reverb controls down here, the size, the damp, and the mix, and you can do that post, blend, and pre and post. And you've got the shift here. Obviously, once you put the warp in, it will automatically turn on. So if you just wanted the shifter, you could just use these controls here. But generally, I like to have everything on. Here, you can also alter the routing of the input signal. So here it's going to warp, shifter, and then the reverb. Here or here you can have it going to the shifter, the warp, and then the reverb. So that's another way you can mess with it. Here we've got a load and they're all pretty decent. Most of the effects are, the presets are all very usable. While I do use kind of the presets for a starting point, I do like to get hands-on with this plugin and kind of mess about with it to get a desired result. This allows you to morph, obviously, between the various effects, and it's very smooth when it does so as well. So I really like the morphing on this, very high fidelity. So we have our wet dry knob up here. I'll be using that. Usually, again, I like to have this always at full, but you never know, especially if you want to change the sound source completely. As I said, you can switch on what bits you want. You've got your reverb size, these controls for the your shifter, your pitch, and then you've got your warp. So that's all pretty straightforward, but it's kind of an effect that you kind of need to have a listen to see what it does. So I've just got a couple of Foley effects that I dragged out of my library quickly. Let's hear these with and without. So that's just me rubbing my thumb off a shower curtain, if I remember correctly. And as soon as we put this on, we'll start to hear something. So that gives you an idea. As the frequency shifter goes up though, it takes a lot of the bottom out. So that may or may not be something that you'd want, but just to be aware. Let's try something else. Let's go to this beautiful sound that I made. Is me humming through a tube. I'm not sure why I did that, but anyway. So this is at the default. Some kind of interesting Star Wars type vehicles, Doppler effects nearly just at the end there. But you can hear, like, when you shift this around, it's very smooth indeed. So, and you don't get any kind of weird artifacts. Let's run through a few presets. Let's try something else. Okay, let's try processors for Atmos, drones, SFX, and pads. And if we bypass the effect and listen to the original Foley sound, it's just me making some kind of strange vocalization. So as you can see, it's pretty cool because whatever you put into it, you get a lot of different material out of it. It's great. Okay, cool. Great for those washy type sounds. Let's try assorted alienifications. Quite enough of that. Let's see what else. These are keys, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so some jangling keys. Let's see what Wormhole can do with these. Tell you what, why don't we just put all the sounds together and run through some more presets. I hope that you don't find this too boring, me just running through presets. At the very end, I'll just give you my thoughts, but okay, let's try artist preset Brett Hinton. Let's see what we have. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, that's great because they sound all like. I think I probably should have recorded these. Yeah, those vocalizations sound very good in there. You'd never realize what the original sounds were. So that's one. Let's try another one of his. Some of the presets. I hope that wasn't too boring for you guys. Yeah, just my kind of overall thoughts. I'm very happy that I have it in my arsenal, and I reckon that any sound designer a worthy addition to your collection. Pros for me would be it excels in sound design. I think it's a high quality. I think the sound is very clear, it's pristine, and yet it can do kind of good big dark stuff as well. It's very easy to use. I like the interface. It sounds very cohesive. I mean, you can get some crazy sounds out of it, but it sounds like it's coming from Wormhole. The morphing effect is very good because it's just so smooth. As I said, it doesn't have any artifacts, which is nice. So yeah, they're the pros. The cons for me, I would say, are the kind of price. While I think it's a really good plugin, I think the price, especially at €169, is a little bit prohibitive. But again, you can always wait for a sale, as I was saying. And unless I'm missing something, so if someone knows, I can't seem to scale the interface. Well, so as far as I know, you can't scale it, and which is a shame. If I've missed that or got it wrong somehow, please let me know. Yeah, they're the only things I can think. Just the price and the non-scaling interface. Yeah, if you like your sci-fi sounds and your weird drones and lush textures, I'd recommend this bad boy. Let me know if you've used Wormhole before, or is there anything else you would say that does something similar that might be cheaper or as good as or whatnot? Yeah, let me know what you think. Anyway, thanks for checking this video out, and I'll have to say the obligatory like, share, and do all that good stuff, please. Okay, well listen, thanks, and take care. Until next time.